Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Daily Drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones, and the topic today, Carolina basketball, specifically the interesting comments Hubert Davis made responding to a question Monday during the ACC weekly coaches call about the GM role and what he said a couple of weeks ago about the GM role. He deflected it, and I'm going to get into that in just a minute. I was on the call and I thought it was interesting the way he went about it, but I'll get into that in just a minute. First, quick reminder, we are striving to get to 20,000 YouTube subscribers. We want to do it by the end of the basketball season. Our goal was end of February, but honestly, when a team loses, people don't hit the traffic. That there isn't as much traffic. People aren't as likely to subscribe. So we're pushing it back because we want to get the role and our goal, and we want to give out free THI. So this is two-pronged. One, us hitting a goal. Two, us giving out free subscriptions to Tar Heel Illustrated, which is $100 a year. You could go to our website, TarHeelIllustrated.com, check it out. A lot of it is premium content behind a paywall because we are a business, have to pay for business. I was in Syracuse. It was very expensive. Got to pay for it. Got to pay my staff. So we're going to give away some free THI, which is a great deal, but we're going to do 2 years. We're going to select a couple of you to get a 2-year subscription for free if we hit our 20,000 goal. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it, and you will enter into the fray, have a chance to be randomly selected to get free THI. Okay, Hubert's comments. I was surprised while he was responding to the question, because it wasn't something that I would have expected him to dodge if I knew in advance he was going to get asked that question. I figured he would have given a similar response to what he said on his radio show a couple weeks ago, but he didn't. I'm going to read you what he said, and then I will comment. So he was asked by someone from the DTH, Daily Tar Heel, just a very casual question about, hey, what in your experience in the last few years led you to decide to embrace the role? That's paraphrasing the question. Simple stuff. Here's his response. Yeah, I'm going to stay away from those comments in regards to a GM. I feel like over the last couple of weeks or 2.5 weeks, in response to my answer to a question on a radio show, it's been twisted in regards to supporting different narratives. And my focus right now is this team and coaching this team and trying to reach our full potential and trying to become the best we can become this season. All right, the reactions were immediate and mostly, at least the ones that were publicly expressed on social media, not very positive, but that tends to be the case. In fact, Carolina beat Syracuse the other night. Our Twitter thread during the course of the game was not as full. There weren't as many comments because Tar Heels led the whole game and won. The message board, we always do a live game thread on our premium message board. Not as many responses because the Tar Heels won. It was like that in football. The Boston College game in football got a lot more reaction than the Florida State game did, and the Tar Heels were much, much better in Tallahassee than they were up at Chestnut Hill. I think the program has sort of reached a point right now where the only loud people tend to be the negative people. Okay, so some of the speculation. He's still fighting the GM role. He doesn't want the GM role, and that's his way of publicly sort of saying, I don't want the GM role, and I'm going to put up my dukes, whatever. Because he wasn't super in favor of it previously. Another one is he won't be back next year. It doesn't matter, so he refused to discuss it. He knows he's not going to be back and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's either one of those things. I actually think, and I say this with significant experience being around him, almost every time he's talked to the media the last 4 years, is that I think it's just him being in coach mode. I'm not going to take a whole lot from it other than the fact it was a bad answer. He should have known it was coming at some point, and he should have had a better response sort of prepared in his mind. But he didn't. He could have just said, yeah, it's time to change. We're going to embrace a GM role. We're looking for somebody right now. I'm looking forward to taking North Carolina basketball into the future. That would have been a great response. And it would have been an empty response in the sense that people would not really have reacted. The reaction was to that mindset was a couple weeks ago from his radio show comments. But instead, he went here and it opened it up for all kinds of stuff. So he's going to be asked to clarify, perhaps Wednesday night, especially if they beat State. One of us, if we remember, will have to ask him to clarify his comments today. Because I think he's just in coach mind. I think Hubert, when he talks to the media, gets into like this little cell, this coach mind cell where he's not going to deviate. And I'll give you a perfect example. If you watch the full 10 minutes from Monday's availability, and every coach in the ACC gets 10 minutes on Monday morning, I asked him a question about Jalen Withers. And, Jalen had a big game against Syracuse, but in the previous 8 games, he played 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, and 6 minutes in 4 of them. Averaged 7 minutes a game in those previous 8 before playing 17 at Clemson and then the big game at Syracuse. He's in his 6th year in college. He's persevered. That's a tough thing for a guy to go through. So I asked Hubert to sort of take his coach's hat off and personally what his thoughts were about seeing Jay Witt go through what he's been through and then respond when called on. He went straight coach's answer. He gave us the same speech he's been giving us for 4 years about telling guys to be ready when their name is called. Because he said when he was in the NBA, he was ready when his name was called. So he didn't go personal with something that would have been an easy personal response to make. He could have said, boy, I respect him so much. He's an older guy. He's 24. He's got dudes that are 19 playing ahead of him. It's very difficult, but he's a mature young man, and that's the kind of mindset I want in this program. He didn't do that. So I don't think he was wrong in doing that. I think what this reflects, he's in coach mindset. So when he's asked about the GM role and he's talking to us, the media, he's in coach's team mindset. He's not thinking about that. He doesn't want to go there. He doesn't want to deviate from being in that little cell, that coaching cell. And I'm about getting my team better, and I love coaching these guys, and I text them all the time and all that kind of stuff. I think that's what it was. I don't think there's anything else to it. People are going to disagree, and that's fine. And you know what? You could be right. I could be reading this wrong. But I think my senses are pretty accurate on this. And I would imagine after Wednesday night's game, if they win, if they lose, he's not going to go anywhere near it. Not going to touch it. If they win, if they play well and win, perhaps he'll offer some clarity from what he said Monday. Or maybe he won't. I think when he sees some of us either on Zoom or in front of him, he's right into coach mind. He's only going to talk about his team. He's only going to talk about practice and only going to talk about getting better. And he's going to repeat a lot of the Hubert-isms he's been saying for 4 years. That's it. That's what I think it is. Pretty simple. You let me know what you guys think. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think it's something else? Do you think it's plausible it could just be a coach who gets into that mindset and doesn't leave it until he finishes with us? Let me know what you guys think. And don't forget, subscribe to our channel here. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you get updates every time we upload. Tell your Carolina friends about it if they aren't on our YouTube channel. We want to get to 20,000. Then we're going to give out a couple freebies. We're doing some other pushes as well, but I don't want to confuse you with the Facebook one and with our Twitter one. We're trying to get to 40,000 on Twitter, 12,000 on Facebook. You can get freebies by joining forces with us, entering the fray over there as well. I'm AJ, and I appreciate you stopping by.